Hey guys, what I've done here is we're gonna do this very fast, guys. This is a Manchester United. I've built it with Manchester United, and this is a tactic that is, in my opinion, a little bit more realistic. Not more realistic, but it's a realistic tactic based on counter-attack. In the same time, you can also use the two strikers up front. To tell you about the history of this game, I started with United. I wanted to use the 4-3-3 and I wanted to use the pace of Rashford and Martial, same time using Pogba and Fernandes. The way they come up to the midfield here, the way they find the players behind the defensive line, and because the pace you have with Martial, Rashford, James, all those kind of players, those pacey players were great on the run, and how we can use that 4-3-3. Then I thought, I might, in a way, dream have been. I have also another movie here that I video set up the Diego Simeone's tactical style in Football Manager. But I think this is a better counter-attacking. This is not. We are not copying any real coach at this manager at this time. This is only a Football Manager. When we are not going to break the game engine here, we are just going to use the way. A realistic form. So we are going in a way without wingers. Okay. So what we're going, this is a counter-attacking this style. Even though this is attacking, we're gonna go back to that later. But the main thought here is that we don't want Rashford and Martial working down the field. In a way like a 4-4-2 Manchester United did with Alex Ferguson in the 1999. Yes, it was 1999 when he kept the two strikers, old-fashioned 4-4-2 in a way. So you want your strikers stay up there. You don't want them to come down there, working down there. So that's one of the reasons we are not using here false 9, for example. We want them to stay up here and working here. So, and we want to lure the opponent up in the field. We want them to send their fullbacks up. And the main thing is that we have 4 players in the central part of the field. So you want them to come in the central part. But many people would think at this point that, okay, if you're luring your opponents up and you only have a full wing back here, their opponents can make, if they're using, for example, 4-3-3, they can use a 2 against 1 here. No, that's why we're using 3 players in a row here. So the Madison here can go a little bit more wider, Fernandes go a little bit wider. In the same time, I have some opposition instructions that you're gonna see here later. That makes that Madison will, when the fullback comes into our field, then it's Madison who's gonna close him down. At this side is Fernandes. And the thing that will happen then is that you will lure the fullbacks up in the field. So you want the fullbacks coming up in the field, because especially against 4 defenders, if the opposition is using 4 defenders, so you want to lure them up. You want to get the break here, and what will happen there at this point is that you win the ball at this part. The Rashford is standing with the center defender here. Then is for a player like Madison with his passing and his vision, he will start Rashford. Rashford will score a goal, or he will set up Martial, because it will be 2 against 2. 2 central defenders against 2 strikers. You will have a little bit more problems with the 3-line defensive line sometimes, but not if you have pacey strikers. And the teams you will have a little bit hard time against is against teams that play defensively. But against good teams, you can see But I have not finished the season, guys, but I have used this tactic twice. I used it once with Manchester United. When it went well, I copy it and I use it with other teams. This will work for you, but you have to have the right players. Clubs that you can drive it with is, for example, Inter. If you have Lukaku up here as a dance forward, and Martinez as a pressing forward, that will be. And they have also good midfielders. You can do this with Leicester too, using Vardy here. And there's a lot of clubs you can use it with. I think in Italy you have a lot of clubs. In England you have a lot of clubs. But I don't think this is a plug and drive tactic that you can use on every team. It have to fit the team. The reason we use attacking is that, yes, based on the other shows we have here, we will be pressed deeper into the field. So yes, we are playing. What does counter-attack mean? Counter-attack meaning you counter them. You push them up, you let them come up, they lose the ball, you counter them. So this is not the way we are playing attacking football, but we want our players to take risk. Why? Because when we are playing 2 against 2 up front here, we want Rashford and Martial to take the risk. We want Maddison, when he wins the ball, with the quality he have, the vision he have, the passing he have, to take the shows and to get the ball forward and hit him on the breaks. But we don't want Wan-Bissaka to do it. We don't want Luke Shaw to do it, because the thing based here with the tactic here is that you have one goalkeeper, super goalkeeper in defense, but there is no personal, there's nothing here personal for him to do. But the thing with the goalkeeper here is he have to be good on one-on-ones, because sometimes your fullback goes up and you will be hit on a counter attacks, and the other thing, he have to be good on the line. So remember that. De Gea is a perfect goalkeeper for that. Then you have 2 ball-playing defenders. You can go with 1 central defender if you want to. I use Ramon Gonoli here as a ball-playing defender, but he's injured at this point. The reason is based on Lindelof is not that good defensively, but he's not good defensively when you have a deep line. But the thing here is that Lindelof and Maguire, both of them, when we win the ball, can start an attack. Again, you have 2-on-2. Imagine one pass, Maguire goes behind there. So players such as Bonucci, even though he doesn't have the defensive abilities, he can be very brutal in this part. For example, if you're gonna play this with Juventus, Real Madrid, Ramos, Varane, that's gonna be a crazy combination at this part. And with Courtois in the defense, in the goal. Okay, so you have 2 central defenders, nothing special with them either. They're both ball-playing defenders. You have 2 wing-backs in support. And the thing here is that the wing-backs pass it shorter, take fewer risks, dribble less. That's both of them, right? The reason is they pass it shorter because you don't want them to start hitting the cross passes. And the thing with the take fewer risks and dribble less is when Wan-Bissaka is here, up here in the ball, he won't cross it that many times. The thing will be that he will stand here, he will pass it short to Maddison, their fullback will come out, and Rashford will run behind the fullback, but inside the center back, and he will go around like this. And it have happened, I think, hundreds of times, and then Wan-Bissaka Dalot here just pass the ball like this, between in the half space in a way, behind the left back. The left back comes here. Rashford just runs like this, and he gets the ball at this patch. And this is a very good place to lay crosses, especially when you have a player such as Pogba and Fernandes coming in and Martial, and you get a low cross, it will be goal. The other thing is, the reason also is that you don't want this player starting dribbling out here, especially the right back, because Maddison is deep lying playmaker, so oftenly he's playing behind Wan-Bissaka when you are in the opposition's half. That doesn't happen that many times, but it happens. So when you can sometimes stand like this, if Wan-Bissaka start to dribble, then it will be a little bit crazy. And that's the same thing here with Maddison. The player you use here at a deep lying playmaker in support, he shouldn't be dribbling too much with the ball because he's standing low. So if he loses the ball, that's bad. If he loses the ball, it's not that bad. But remember, Maddison is not the best player defensively, even though you have Matic here. So you don't want to be hitting contracts that many times. Okay, so and the other thing is that Wan-Bissaka shouldn't be dribbling here because he's 1-on-1, 1-on-2. He's isolated in a way alone. I don't want him to start dribbling. I want him to keep the ball. And the thing here is that Rashford, Martial, our first line of attack. Second line of attack is Fernandes and Pogba coming here. Okay, Matic as an anchor. We can use also maybe some people. If you have extremely good ball-winning midfielder like Ndini, is it like that in Leicester? Players such as that are very pacey players like Kante, you can maybe use them there too, because they can shuffle everything behind here when you lose the ball. But this player shouldn't go crazy. The thing is that I don't think any of my opponents have come in here when we are in our own defensive line. When we are in our own half, no players can come through this, guys. This is impossible to get into. So this is Anchorman, nothing special with him. He should have good anticipation, concentration, positioning, and he should keep it simple to play simple short passes. The bad thing with Matic is sometimes when we have the ball at within 12, he dwells on the ball. But he got the physique to defend the ball, but his agility is not that good. The reason I use a deep lying playmaker at this side is because Rashford is here. I don't want them to collide here. And the deep line playmaker, when we win the ball at the right side, or for example Matic wins the ball, the first play he will look at will normally be Maddison. He get to Maddison. Maddison got great passing, and the other thing is that I used Maddison first here because I know Maddison is good coming up forward, but look at his play rates. Comes deep to get the ball. So as a center midfielder in attack, it didn't work that well. He was good, but he wasn't good enough. So using the right players at the right place here is important. That he comes deep to get the ball helps us out a little bit with Matic, and he shuffles the long ball often to Rashford and Martial. And yeah, so it's worked well. As you can see, his assists in the Premier League is 4 in 9 games. He got in Carabao Cup 2 assists in 1 game. That's against Manchester City. And he got 3 assists in the European League in 4 games. So that's 6 assists in 11 games. And what does he do? The thing is that he closes down more and he tackles harder, right? But deep he does that in our own half. So when we lose the ball, yes, he goes on there, pressure high. We win a lot of balls are high up in the field and win the ball and goal on goal. Not a lot, but sometimes. But normally he wins the ball here. The fullback come up, is packed in the middle, and we push their fullbacks into the field here, and it's impossible to get through. And he will slide over, win the ball. If he doesn't win the ball, Wan-Bissaka will win the ball. So yeah. So the other person is Pogba. Nothing special here, but Pogba fits perfect to this position because more than one thing. He gets into the opposition area, so he scores a lot of goals. To beginning, I used him as a Mazzella, but then I used him in the middle. He scored more goals he was our best player in the center midfielder in attack because he comes into opposition area. And at the same time, when we win the ball here, Pogba is coming up, so we have suddenly almost 3 strikers. He's behind the strikers. So for example, when Lindelof passes the high ball, Pogba with his strength, with his physique, and because he starts so fast and gets opposition area, he's a dangerous player here with Pogba getting the ball here, Rashford, Martial running in front on 2-on-2. So for example, then you have Pogba here, these 3 guys up here on the counter attack. It's crazy. So it's and as also that it comes into the box. Maddison did never come into the box and score goals for us in that position. Mendes had played both as a deep lying playmaker and now as a Mazzella. He tries killer balls often. That was something that happens here. It's not that many times, but he haven't got many assists here. But he have started a lot of attacks that have finished in goal. He wins the ball here. He right away finds Rashford at this far side. Rashford finds Martial, or for example, sometimes he starts Martial, and he wins a lot of second balls. He wins a lot of balls here. So even though he is not that good on a defensively tackling, but like you can see his bravery, his work rate is extremely well, and his teamwork is not that well, but anyway, and his stamina is good, his acceleration is good. So this is a good player, fitting well. So what does he do? He just tackle hard. Tackle hard is maybe a little bit dangerous when you don't have the good tackling, but we need to win the ball. I remember one of my goal coaches used to say to me that, hey, you cannot just go far down here. Someplace you have to tackle, and we are playing deep already. So yeah. So this is the 3 up front here, guys, and the 2 up front is strikers. Is Rashford, of course, is roaming from his position. He's staying wider. Of course, he's staying wider because when the ball goes to right, I want him to go right and comes in this room. But he's not going outside the fullback. And again, you're gonna see how our goals comes. A lot of times the ball comes right here and he goes outside this fullback. The fullback is up front, so he goes behind the fullback, so he's against the central defender. Have Rashford done it? You can see it here too. But anyway, you can see that Rashford has scored 13 goals in 9 games in the league, and 1 goal here, and he have only 2 assists. But I think it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And you have other players in this game that are maybe better. Imagine using this with Holland in Dortmund. I think he can score also a lot of goals because his finishing is a little bit lacking, but his dribbling is good. That's helping me a lot, his dribbling. And his off the ball movement is not that good, but something very important is where are you, my friend? cuts inside from the no, where is it? Get into the opposition area is important, and also likes to beat offside trap. Against good team, this guy, he scored 5 goals against Manchester City. Martial have also done it very well. He's playing as advanced forward in attack, stay wider, close down more, and tackle harder because we need him up front. And they are doing a good job there, both of them. Martial has scored 8 goals in 9 league games. He also has 6 assists. And he have 3 goals in Carabao Cup against Manchester City. So it's great. And how have the result been so far? As you can see, guys, against Bayern München here we played 0-0. Against Milan we won 5-2. This is a friendly games, of course, but we have won all our games here. We haven't lost or drew any games. Included games is, for example, like Manchester City won 5-1 with 10 players. As Pogba got red card in the 75th minute or something like that. Then Tottenham we won 1-0. We won 2-0 here. Playing with our reserves, playing against Crystal Palace. As you can see, against good teams, you will destroy them always, especially against tiki-taka teams. Manchester City 4-1 again as a second time here. This time it was Martial's time, not Rashford's time to score all the goals. And you also won against Arsenal 3-0 here, and it becomes better and better. You have to also have the right training session, I think you have to have it, use the trainings, direct chance conversation, use match training. And I'm going also to show you something else here, guys, is the analyze. You can see where a goal comes from. If you use only, for example, domestic league matches here, we can see that the goals comes from center of the box, not so many long shots. This is more mainly Pogba and Fernandes who is doing this. Not that many goals. We have only conceded 4 goals in the league. You can also see something else that I think is cool. Where have the assists come from? The assist guys have come from 6 of the assists have come from our own half. 6 of assists have come from our own half here. We doesn't get concede goals on crosses. Is in from middle. I think that's a little bit strange. This is normally goals on counter attack. You get concede against you, and you can see that most of the passes come through the middle here. Pass through. You get the ball, gets inside, through ball is alone, or he gets a long ball from your own half. But this is also a little bit. I can remember the Leicester season when they won the league. I really wanted to find a way to use that, and I think this has been a good game. And the other part here, guys, is that you can go to the tactic. You can see the tactic more if you want to look at it. I will not upload it. You have to do that part yourself. Go in here and push the right buttons, but it takes you 2 seconds to do that. We're playing on standard weight, guys. We're pushing it 1 back. We are using much higher tempo because when we want win the ball, we have to go forward. Slightly more direct. We play it out of defense. We don't want to get our players. We don't want our players to be using the width. We don't want them to look at the fullbacks when we got the ball, because this is in the. For example, when we get the ball, I want them to see here inside the fullbacks, because sometimes they will hit the ball and find the Wan-Bissaka up front here. I don't want that. I want them to go to Rashford and Martial. So I want them to watch inside these areas. The overlap at the right, the main reason only is I don't want to use Wan-Bissaka as a wing back in attack. So I have just turned that so he can be a little bit more aggressive here. And I want Wan-Bissaka a little bit higher, because when Wan-Bissaka, the right back comes a little bit higher, he and the pressing forward links up very well. He will find him a lot of times behind here. And we also, when you don't have the ball, counter press every time, because we don't want to be countered against. And when you win the ball with those kind of players and that vision and technique these 3 guys have here, of course you're going to go on counter attack. When we have the ball, we distribute it to the goalkeeper, to the center backs, because we are good ball playing defenders, and we're keeping it simple. Why? Because we are already using we are playing play out of defense, because we don't want to shuffle the ball up all the time. Then you have no possession, and you are not that bad. You are using counter attack, but you doesn't need to smash the ball up front every time you got it, and the opposition is in balance, because you have a lot of good ball players here as well. So yeah, and against here you have the using the offside trap that can help you against the counter attacks a little bit. We are using a higher line of engagement. Even if we are using a high line of engagement, when we win the ball, we will finish the attack and we go back there, back down again. But we will not sleep outside here. But even though this is higher up in the field, guys, you are not standing in their half that many times. We are also using pressing intensity more urgent, and we have the defensive wide as wide because we don't want that many crosses coming in. Mainly because when I started the season, I got Lindelof here, guys. And this last thing is opposition instructions, is that we go, you can see here, position, we use the full back here and the left back and the wing backs. If they get the ball, we want them to be pressed. The intensity of pressing them is high always, but we don't tackle them hard because we don't want to sell ourselves there, because then it will be 2 against 1, right? And we always show them into the weaker foot, and that's, you're gonna see why here, because when they got the ball, they come out here. If the fullbacks are normally left backs, are left-footed, right-footed at the right side. So a left-footed player comes up here. I want him to go to right foot. Why? Because then he has to go inside here, and it's normally Madison who's going there. So don't ever get your strikers working down. For me, this have worked well, guys, in 2 saves. I hope it will work for you too, guys. So yeah, see you soon again with a new tactic. Thank you, guys.